Welcome to RV Heaven, a place where stories are driven by wheels, fueled by dreams, and guided by the open road. Today, we're not just exploring a vehicle, we're diving into a legacy. A story that stretches across continents, from the misty countryside of Britain to the wide open highways of America and the untamed wilderness of Canada. This is the history and evolution of RVs and caravans, a journey that changed not just how we travel, but how we dream. Before luxury lounges and solar roofs, before digital dashboards and lithium batteries, there were wanderers, ordinary men and women who longed for one thing: freedom on wheels. It's the early 1880s in Britain. Horse-drawn carriages clatter through narrow cobbled streets. But among them, a peculiar sight turns heads: a beautifully crafted wooden caravan, with gold detailing rolling slowly through the countryside. This is the Wanderer, the world's first leisure caravan, built in 1884 by Dr. William Gordon Stables, a retired Scottish naval officer and writer. He wasn't running from something, he was chasing something: adventure, simplicity, freedom. Dr. Stables called his caravan a land yacht. Inside were bookshelves, a writing desk, and even a piano, a true Victorian escape pod. Long before RVs or motorhomes were even imagined, that one man's journey inspired a movement. Soon, the roads of Britain began to see more of these living carriages, each one crafted by hand, each one a symbol of independence and luxury. But caravanning wasn't for everyone. It was a pastime for the elite, for poets, artists, and explorers. It was about reconnecting with nature while keeping the comforts of home close. And in those early days, Britain became the cradle of the caravan dream. By the dawn of the 20th century, the world was changing faster than ever. Steam gave way to gasoline, horses stepped aside for engines, and the dream of a self-moving home, one that could carry your life wherever your heart wandered, began to take shape. In Britain, caravan clubs started to form. The Caravan Club of Great Britain, founded in 1907, brought together enthusiasts who saw travel not as a necessity, but as a lifestyle. It wasn't just about going somewhere, it was about being on the move. And then came the spark that would ignite an entirely new chapter: the motorized caravan. In 1910, across the Atlantic, a small revolution was quietly rolling across the roads of the United States. America, vast, wild, open, was ready for something extraordinary. Tinkerers, engineers, and dreamers began converting automobiles into traveling homes. They took Model T chassis, bolted on wooden cabins, and called them camping cars. Some looked crude, but they carried a promise. Freedom no longer had boundaries. The Pierce Arrow Touring Landau, unveiled in 1910, became one of the first luxury motorhomes ever made in the US. It had a fold-down bed, a tiny kitchenette, and running water, unimaginable luxuries for its time. As roads spread westward, so did curiosity. Families packed their lives into these early RVs, chasing sunsets across Route 66 long before it became a legend. America's fascination with mobility had begun. Meanwhile, back in Britain, caravan craftsmanship evolved. Companies like Eccles Caravans, founded in 1919, began building caravans for everyday travelers. No longer the privilege of poets and explorers, the caravan was becoming a family dream. In both worlds, one thing united the travelers: the longing for freedom. A house that could move, a journey that never had to end. And while the roads of Britain were quaint and narrow, the highways of America stretched endlessly into the horizon. Two worlds, two cultures, but one shared dream, rolling on wheels. The 1930s, a decade of contrast, of dreams and despair, progress and pain. The world was healing from the Great War and stepping into the shadow of a new challenge: the Great Depression. Money was scarce. Hope was fragile. Yet, in the midst of hardship, the dream of freedom on the road refused to die. In America, the idea of the motorhome became a symbol, not of luxury, but of survival. Families who lost their homes hit the road in old converted trucks and cars, transforming them into makeshift RVs. They called them house cars. Simple, sturdy, mobile. A home on four wheels that could follow opportunity wherever it appeared. And in that same decade, a name was born that would shape RV history forever: Airstream. In 1931, a man named Wally Byam built his first travel trailer. It was sleek, lightweight, and aerodynamic, designed to glide through the wind like a silver bullet. Byam's Airstream trailers became a shining beacon of optimism, a reminder that adventure could still be elegant. People didn't just buy Airstreams. They believed in them. They were buying a lifestyle, the promise of freedom with style. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Britain's caravan scene was evolving in its own way. Companies like Eccles and Bluebird kept refining their designs. Wooden panels, glass windows, and fold-out furniture. Caravans became symbols of post-war optimism, small rolling sanctuaries where families could escape industrial smoke for a weekend by the sea. But then, World War II arrived. The world stopped moving, at least in the way it once had. Fuel was rationed. Manufacturing shifted to weapons and supplies. Factories that once built caravans were now building aircraft components. Yet, in those dark years, the idea of mobile living quietly persisted. Military units used mobile kitchens, field hospitals, and command trailers, practical forms of caravans that inspired post-war innovation. When peace finally returned, the world was ready to roll again. In Canada, too, a new chapter began. Vast landscapes, untouched wilderness, and expanding roads created a haven for explorers. Canadian families began converting buses and trucks, inspired by their American neighbors, but driven by their own rugged spirit. The 1940s laid the foundation for a new world. A world where adventure would soon meet technology, and where wheels would carry not just people, but dreams. And as the smoke of war cleared, the golden age of travel was about to begin. The war was over. The world was healing, and with peace came something humanity had longed for: the freedom to move again. It was the 1950s, and highways were stretching farther than ever before. Cars became more than machines. They became symbols of progress, prosperity, and personal freedom. And right alongside them, a new chapter of mobile living began to unfold. Families in America were ready for the open road. The baby boom had filled homes with laughter, and the urge to explore. Weekend camping, cross-country vacations, and road trips became a cultural phenomenon. It was the birth of what we now call the modern RV lifestyle. Manufacturers like Winnebago, Shasta, and Airstream stepped into the spotlight. The Winnebago motorhome, introduced in the 1960s, changed everything. Affordable, self-contained, and reliable. It brought the dream of a moving home within reach of the average family. People didn't just travel anymore. They lived the journey. Families crossed deserts, mountains, and coastlines, discovering a new way to experience life. Unplugged, together, free. In Canada, the story had its own rugged rhythm. Vast forests, pristine lakes, and endless highways inspired a deeper bond with nature. Canadian RVs were built tough, ready for cold winters and wild trails. The Great White North became a playground for adventurers in campers, truck trailers, and motorhomes built for resilience. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Britain was carving its own chapter. Caravanning became a national passion. The caravan club expanded rapidly. Caravan holidays filled every summer, and brands like Sprite and Abbey became household names. Families would tow their caravans to the countryside or the seaside, set up camp with fold-out chairs and checkered blankets, and share tea under the soft drizzle of an English morning. It wasn't just travel, it was tradition. The caravan had become part of British identity, a gentle rebellion against the rush of modern life. In the United States, something else was happening: the romanticism of the open road. Route 66 wasn't just a highway. It was an idea, freedom, possibility, discovery. Writers and filmmakers captured this spirit in pop culture. Hollywood made RVs symbols of adventure, from family comedies to road trip romances. And let's not forget the hippie movement of the late 1960s and early 1970s. Colorful vans, converted buses, and free-spirited nomads who lived by one motto: home is wherever you park it. It was raw, it was real, and it redefined what luxury meant. Not gold-plated taps or leather sofas, but time, freedom, and choice. By the 1970s, the world had fully embraced life on wheels. RVs and caravans weren't just vehicles. They were symbols of independence, rolling testaments to humanity's eternal desire to wander. But as the engines roared louder, a new challenge approached. The oil crisis of the 1970s would test the resilience of the industry, forcing it to adapt, innovate, and evolve once more. The golden age of the road had left its mark, but the story of reinvention was far from over. By the 1980s, the world had changed once again. The carefree spirit of the 1960s had matured, and technology was reshaping every part of life, including the way we traveled. Gas prices were high, but dreams were higher. People didn't want to give up the freedom of the open road. They wanted to experience it smarter. Manufacturers across the United States, Canada, and the UK began reimagining what a home on wheels could be. Lighter materials, aerodynamic designs, and better fuel efficiency turned the humble camper into a sophisticated travel machine. The Class A motorhome, massive, elegant, and self-contained, became the new status symbol. Brands like Fleetwood, Winnebago, and Monaco rolled out luxurious coaches with air conditioning, generators, and full kitchens. For the first time, RVs weren't just for family vacations. They became mobile homes, retirement villas, and even offices on wheels. Across Canada, adventure took on a new meaning. The country's vast wilderness inspired a new generation of explorers. Rugged 4x4 campers and truck-mounted RVs became the choice for those who wanted to go off-grid, deep into forests, mountains, and frozen lakesides. Canadians weren't chasing luxury, they were chasing experience. And in doing so, they defined the spirit of rugged freedom. Meanwhile, back in Britain, the caravan industry was quietly innovating. Manufacturers embraced lightweight aluminum, fiberglass shells, and compact interiors designed for small European roads. Holiday parks grew in popularity, and caravanning evolved from a weekend hobby into a proud cultural tradition. The British caravan had become a symbol of family togetherness, cozy, practical, and proudly independent. As the 1990s dawned, the world grew smaller, more connected. The internet was on the rise, technology was booming, and travelers began sharing their adventures in new ways. RVs reflected this transformation. Satellite TVs, built-in computers, GPS navigation. These once futuristic features became standard. Every new model seemed to promise not just comfort, but control. In America, the RV industry entered a golden resurgence. Television shows and commercials painted the motorhome lifestyle as the ultimate symbol of success. Sleek luxury coaches glided down highways, mobile mansions that turned every journey into a five-star escape. At the same time, Canada became a hub for RV manufacturing, exporting reliable and cold weather-ready designs to the world. And in the UK, caravanning had fully modernized. Stylish interiors, advanced towing technology, and a booming sense of community among travelers. By the early 2000s, a quiet revolution was brewing. Fuel efficiency, sustainability, and digital connectivity were becoming priorities. People wanted their RVs and caravans to feel not just like homes, but like smart, sustainable spaces. And as the world entered a new millennium, one question lingered on every traveler's mind. If this is how far we've come, what comes next? Sound of wind fades out, replaced by a deep, cinematic drone, signaling change. Because the next era, the one of solar panels, electric power, and digital nomads, would transform not just how we travel, but how we live. As the 21st century unfolded, the world entered a new rhythm, fast, digital, and global. But amid the rush of technology, the ancient human longing for freedom, adventure, and open horizons remained unchanged. It just found a new form. The 2000s brought a wave of transformation. RVs and caravans were no longer symbols of retirement. They became tools for living differently. People began questioning the old patterns, the 9-to-5 grind, fixed homes, and rigid routines. A quiet rebellion took shape, one powered by Wi-Fi, solar panels, and wanderlust. These new travelers weren't just tourists. They were digital nomads, working remotely, living sustainably, and carrying their lives on four wheels. Manufacturers responded to this movement with innovation. Lightweight composite materials, energy-efficient insulation, and integrated solar systems became the new gold standard. RVs evolved into smart homes on wheels, equipped with touchscreen control panels, satellite internet, and lithium power systems. In the United States, brands like Airstream, Winnebago, and Nomad redefined luxury for a new generation. They blended timeless design with futuristic comfort. Classic aluminum bodies hiding interiors that looked like high-end apartments. The result? RVs that were as beautiful as they were practical. Meanwhile, in Canada, adventure went off-grid. Expedition campers, overland trucks, and four-season RVs dominated the scene, capable of handling icy tundras, mountain trails, and everything in between. Canadian travelers embraced the spirit of self-reliance, merging modern technology with raw wilderness exploration. And across the UK, the caravan industry flourished once again, with compact, efficient designs perfect for scenic European travel. Brands like Bailey, Swift, and Coachman brought luxury within reach, turning small spaces into masterpieces of design and comfort. Caravanning became cool again, attracting young adventurers, couples, and families seeking slower, meaningful travel. Then came 2020. The world paused, borders closed, airports fell silent, but the roads remained open. In that silence, the RV and caravan world found renewal. People rediscovered the joy of the journey, the freedom to move while staying safe, to work remotely while watching sunsets from their doorstep. RV parks filled, campervans sold out, families took to the highways in search of peace, space, and simplicity. In those uncertain years, the RV once again became what it had always been, a symbol of resilience. By the mid-2020s, the revolution had gone electric. Companies began unveiling fully electric RVs and motorhomes, merging sustainability with style. From concept vehicles in Silicon Valley to prototype caravans in Europe, the road ahead began to hum. Quietly, cleanly, powerfully. Solar roofs, battery-powered drivetrains, recycled materials. This was not just evolution. It was reinvention, and with AI-powered control systems, self-leveling chassis, and even autonomous driving, features on the horizon. The modern RV became less of a vehicle and more of a vision. From wooden wagons in 1880s Britain to silent electric luxury RVs in the 2020s, this journey has been more than mechanical. It's emotional, cultural, human, because behind every caravan, every motorhome, and every traveler, there's the same timeless desire to move freely, to live fully, to find home wherever the road leads. And as we look to the future with electric motors, solar roofs, and limitless horizons, one thing remains certain: the wheels of freedom will never stop turning. From a wooden caravan rolling through the misty fields of Victorian Britain to sleek electric RVs gliding silently across the highways of North America, the story of mobile living has spanned over a century of innovation, freedom, and dreams. But what makes this story truly extraordinary is not the machinery, it's the people behind the wheel. The dreamers, the wanderers, the families who traded walls for horizons, the creators who turned engines into art and road trips into memories. Every generation has had its own version of the journey. For some, it was a handcrafted caravan under a starlit sky. For others, it was a roaring Winnebago cruising down Route 66. And now, it's the whisper of an electric motor carrying a digital Nomad across continents. Different eras, different wheels, but the same heartbeat, the call of the open road. In Britain, the caravan remains a national treasure, a symbol of peace, togetherness, and escape. In Canada, it's a gateway to untamed nature, a passport to freedom through forests, mountains, and endless lakes. And in the United States, it's a canvas for the great American dream, the pursuit of adventure, comfort, and limitless possibility. 3 nations, one spirit, the spirit of movement. And now, as the future unfolds before us, solar-powered, AI-guided, and sustainable, we're not just building vehicles. We're building visions. Visions of a life untethered by walls, unconfined by routine, and untouched by limits. A life where the hum of the engine becomes the rhythm of your heart, and every sunrise feels like a brand new beginning. Because that's what the road really gives us. Not just a destination, but a story. A story that keeps moving, evolving and inspiring. And maybe that's the real magic of RVs and caravans. They don't just take us places. They remind us why we travel in the first place. So, whether you're in a vintage Airstream, a modern camper van, or a futuristic electric motorhome, remember this: you're part of a legacy that began over 100 years ago. A legacy written by explorers, dreamers, and everyday travelers, people just like you. And as long as there are roads to follow and skies to chase, the journey will never truly end. Because home isn't a place, it's a feeling. It's that moment when the wheels start turning and your heart whispers, "I'm free." If this journey through time moved you, if the spirit of the open road still calls your name, then you're already part of our family. Welcome to RV Heaven, where every story has wheels and every road leads home. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more cinematic journeys into the world of motorhomes, caravans, and the people who bring them to life. Because here, every sunrise is another story waiting to begin.